Hi and welcome. My name is Chris Baskey. I'm the Business Account Manager with Creative Workforce Solutions, Weber, in collaboration with VocRehab Vermont. Today we're here to talk to you about an exciting new program at VocRehab called Vermont Work 2.0. For those of you who do not know what VocRehab Vermont is, it's an agency of the Human Services of the state of Vermont, and we support individuals and their career goals that have a disability or barrier in the way. Today I'm joined by Lynn Hughes, Kristen Carpentier, and Amanda Barrett, all working inside of the VocRehab system. And I'll turn it over to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Chris. So yeah, we've recently started a new program at VocRehab called Work Vermont 2.0, and we're really excited about the program. It is both a program as well as part of our larger study, which we think is going to do a lot in the way of informing practices on how to support folks that have the Supplemental Security Income or the Social Security Disability Insurance benefit. So the program is pretty easy to qualify for if you have both of those benefits. A person needs to have worked at least one time within the last 5 years. They need to be an adult. It's not a program that youth could participate in. And for folks, we do have most folks in the program will be about age 58 and under that are taking part of it. So if someone doesn't quite fit that criteria, VocRehab services could be a great fit for them. But some of the things about this particular program that we're excited about are some of the components of it. The first is the teaming. We worked as a small focused team. Some of our team members are here today to provide the support that really centers around the individual. With the personalized supports, sometimes there could be some complex matters that come up as well. Maybe someone needs some external supports to kind of work towards their goal of either new employment, or maybe they're advancing in a career, or just taking some initial steps towards envisioning financial independence or financial stability even. So we help make connections to the work that our team does with an individual. And we help someone consider maybe some possibilities they haven't thought of in years maybe. Maybe the path to when they started getting that SSI or SSDI benefit, there may have been some challenges that presented at that time, and now they're in a place that they can start thinking about, well, how can I work on some of those, and what do I need to go for towards some of the goals that I have. So we have this team component to help somebody work through some of that. Some of those include assistive technology. We also have a job coach that's part of our team who actually isn't here today. But what she's able to provide to folks is to go on site and offer some assistance with training, some one-to-one supports, maybe help with setting up an accommodation that somebody needs, kind of getting the resources in place to do that. Even some supports around tutoring. Maybe someone's thinking about taking some coursework, or some skills development like computers, which can be sometimes intimidating even if you haven't had a lot of experience with that before. So that's some of the features of the program and just a little bit about the criteria to get started with it. Probably a good time for me to introduce one of our team members, Amanda, who is our benefits counselor.
Yes, thank you. Kristen and Chris did a great job talking about VocRehab and the services we provide. And I just want to kind of add something in, is that we really meet the person where they're at. And employment looks different for every single person. So I like to say that this program is just elevating and bumping up the services we've always provided. As a benefit counselor, I work with people who are on benefits, Social Security or Supplemental Security Income, as well as just if somebody's accessing Medicaid. We know that individuals with disabilities might have some higher medical needs, so health insurance is really important. So kind of my role with the team is we all collaborate and stay in touch quite intensively on each case to help the individual address any concerns they have. So my role is specific to benefits. So I like to say probably the biggest part of my role is myth busting. There's a lot of assumptions around Social Security benefits. Somebody might have had a parent or a neighbor or a friend who had some challenges navigating Social Security, and my role is to help ease that navigation so it becomes less stressful. So a lot of it's about being proactive, and that each person's benefit picture is unique, just like we all are. No two cases are alike. So I really, working closely with the team, we look at, what does your benefit world look like now, and how could things shift when you start working, and really what is the person's concerns, and how can we address those so somebody feels confident moving forward. A common concern is access to health care. So part of the benefit counseling is reviewing options that are affordable or perhaps even free, as most Medicaid programs are. And part of that is just really diving into the economic advantages of working full-time. I don't want to spout off statistics too much, but about 75% of individuals who are on SSI are living below the poverty level, and almost 30% who are on SSDI. That's a national average. I think in Vermont it might be a bit higher. That there can be a lot of fear. So I like to say we're just providing information that's accurate so people can make the decisions that are best for them. And one of the great things about this particular program is that we do have, we could call them milestone payments or incentive payments. The benefits cash cliff of, I've been receiving this much per month on this date, how do these pieces all come together? And if certain milestones are reached in this program on the level of employment, through the grant that the program helped funded, this particular program, we're able to provide up to $2,000 in incentive payments. I don't want to get too much into the detail or the weeds. All this information is available on the VocRehab website, and we'll talk a little bit more when we're closing about how to learn more about the program.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so as an employment consultant, I'm really excited to be a part of this team. Because not only do I get the opportunity to dream with some of our consumers, but I also have the opportunity to help them, realize their potential and also take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there. Like Amanda just said that statistic about so many of the recipients living below the federal poverty level. To me, that's mind-boggling. And a lot of these recipients feel that they're stuck, that they're in a financial trap and they don't know what to do. They have no options and no choices available to them. So I'm excited about this program because this program puts choices back in their grasp. And, we as a team are here to help them achieve the best financial gain that is possible for them. So again, I'm going to say there's no cookie cutter approach to this, as Amanda and Kristen also pointed out. We realize that people need a job and they need a job now. So we're definitely going to help with that, but we really want them to find a career and something that they're passionate about, something that they enjoy doing, that they can enjoy going to every day, and something that they feel that they're a part of the community and they're providing a valuable service. So as an employment consultant, I'm there to help them get out in the community, to start networking from the start. And wherever they are in their career exploration, whether they know what they want to do or whether they have no idea, start talking to businesses, start networking. We have informational interviews, which is an opportunity for them to chat with a business and interview the business. See, is this something I could see myself doing? Is it something I could see myself doing long term? We could also provide tours and job shadows and progressive work experiences, really getting out there and get a feel. What does this look like? What does this feel like? Is this the environment and the culture I want to be in? So there's a lot of opportunities out there, and when they make a decision on what career they want to pursue, along with the job coach, I help them to be the best candidate they can be for a job. We can do resume development, cover letters, practice for interviews, and when they're ready to apply, we're able to help them fill out those applications. So when they do land the job, we're not done, as we all know. We still are in the picture. We're there to help smooth out some of that bumpy road that is involved with most people when they start a new job, whether it's accommodations, whether it's training. And we're there in the picture until they tell us that we can do this alone. And I think we'll all agree that it's rewarding when we hear from our consumers, I got this. Then we know that we have been successful in helping them achieve self-sustaining employment and self-sufficiency. So I'm pretty excited about this program.
What a confidence builder. It's got to be a huge confidence builder for somebody thinking that, I'm not sure a business would really entertain me or give me an honest opportunity. But it sounds like with a lot of the programs that are offered here and the tools in your toolbox, it can really ease some of the anxiety and start to build that confidence that I think, regardless of what barrier or disability somebody may be facing, confidence is probably the biggest thing that they have to get over. And this is a real safe environment for that to take place.
Agreed.
And you guys get to watch it all take place.
Yeah, and I think Lynn mentioned mock interviews. I think anyone who is going to an interview gets nervous. And if you have only had some small part-time jobs or perhaps not worked at all or are going into a completely different field, or all of a sudden 20 years later I have my interview, I haven't interviewed in 20 years, there's opportunities to get feedback and to develop that muscle again and that skill set. So what's really great about all these opportunities that Lynn talked about is that I like to say it's like an a la carte, right? Yeah. It's the consumer deciding what might be best, and also getting feedback from us as a team of, this could be a great area to work on. And there's no timeline, it's really up to the individual.
And it's risk-free at first, right? A lot of these programs that Lynn's talking about are risk-free, both the consumer and to the employer as well. So it's a really safe place to start that process and walk down that avenue of your new career. I also think there's a huge potential here to tap into an amazing skill set that somebody may possess and may have been overlooking, thinking that my disability no longer will allow me to use that skill set I have. But I'm sure this is a great realm to say, no, that skill set's needed, and it's needed now. And I'm sure if employers are watching this program, I'm sure they're all probably going to jump up and say, yes, we need them yesterday. So
yeah. That's that whole opportunity to explore or to just sort of dream again about what something could look like. Yeah. Maybe something sort of went a certain way for somebody, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but the resources that we're able to sort of present and the supports we're able to kind of wrap around someone weren't part of that picture, 10 years ago. Yeah. So that's what's really neat. We can help people maybe think about how they could do their jobs differently. Maybe the subject of accommodation wasn't on the table before, something they knew could be accessible to them or right. So that's something that we're able to bring into the discussions and just some of the options that we're able to present to people as they consider what could be. Yeah. And
you have a group of people who are willing to go right out into that community, walk through that employer door and talk about those accommodations and how you'd have an amazing employee on your hands if we can help you get over this hurdle and the barrier that they're facing currently. Yeah. So, Amanda, I would imagine you get the joy of watching their eyes just light right up when you probably have the conversation about earning potential compared to where they are today and what their tomorrow could look like. I'm sure that opens a lot of eyes.
I think it does, and everyone's response is a little bit different. When something's, we all like routine, we all like stability, and a lot changes So I think education is a big part of that. Like again, the myth busting of knowing, what's going to happen specific to you and your family's house, the resources that your family has access to all changes when someone starts working typically. And it's just a lot of conversations. I think you need to hear something 7 times right before we get it. It's just providing information, hopefully in an accessible way, so they can make the decisions that make a lot of sense for them. And I think what we really, at VocRehab, if you look at our website and what we're talking about today, we're talking about employment, right? But when you start working, so much more comes out of work than just a paycheck. Natural supports. If people are perhaps been staying home due to a barrier or the time that we're in right now, it can help alleviate some of that isolation. I think, we all know we have work friends, and while work some days can be challenging, sometimes it's just so rewarding, and we get to talk about that with individuals, and we get to see them develop, like you mentioned confidence earlier. Sometimes folks come in for a very brief amount of time, and sometimes it's quite lengthy, and we get to see how they evolve as a person, and the confidence and the desire to, like what Kristen had said, to dream big. Sometimes it's just they're coming in because they need a paycheck now. And then we have individuals who are completing their master's degree or certification, where in a trade where school might not have been for them, but they're doing a training program and getting certified in a trade and making a really nice annual salary, and something that they love to do.
Yeah. And I think there's a common theme there, because I've heard you mention it, I heard Kristen mention it, I heard Lynn mention it, is that it's an opportunity to really dream the biggest dream possible and get the opportunity to explore it risk-free with a huge safety net underneath you. To say that, I can go back out and do this. I do bring value to this employer. And I also want to highlight something you brought up. This doesn't just always impact the participant we're working with. This has the opportunity to impact their family and their whole life and their community, because they're feeling connected again. Again, I often look at VocRehab services and what we do as just a diving board into a huge pool of success for somebody, and it's independence. I think we all work on the model that everything we've done with a candidate coming through VocRehab door is really education and teaching them and preparing them to go forward, so that if something were to stumble along the way, they don't need to come back through our doors. We've given them the tools they need to go out and pursue these on their own. But if somebody's sitting home today who is receiving a Social Security benefit and thinking, what, this sounds amazing, and I want to get back out there, I love everything they're talking about, what might be the first step somebody would want to take if they want to go down that road and start exploring Work Vermont 2.0?
Sure. So on our website, VocRehab Vermont, they can find a lot of information about Work Vermont 2.0. So Kristen touched briefly on the eligibility requirements. We know that just to get general VocRehab services, you have a disability or barrier, and disability is really widely defined. Kristen's the one that can go into a lot of the detail on that. But I just want to put the plug in about general VocRehab services. Kristen mentioned they're always evolving. So the services that maybe somebody got from VocRehab 5 years ago look very different today. And people are often quite surprised about the services that we provide and the opportunities. So even if you may not have a Social Security benefit and are not in the age range of 18 to 58, I would highly recommend anyone kind of look at our services, and we have some great testimonials out there of folks who have had successes. For this particular program, it's being run in Rutland and Chittenden County, so we're here talking about the Rutland office today. They can call the Rutland VocRehab office at 786-5866. Just wanted to confirm I was giving that right number. Currently, we are doing a Work Vermont 2.0 orientation, along with our general VocRehab orientation for participants who meet the eligibility guidelines every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And they would call the Rutland VocRehab office to just kind of sign up for in-person, or if somebody right now feels more comfortable doing a remote option, we're able to do that as well. So we're running kind of two concurrently. And to learn more about the program and to make that decision if it makes sense for them, we do have an end date to enrollment, which is the end of this year. But the program goes until December of 2023. So if someone's thinking, okay, I have a benefit, things are just a little too unsettled right now, if they come in, learn about the services, sign up for the program, to know that maybe they might be off to a slow start, but that they have a full 2 years in the program to be eligible for these incentive payments and this really intensive teaming. But it's not as though December 2023 comes around and people are like, okay, bye. We're still going to continue to offer the same services that we've always offered. So I think that covers most about the program. Oh, yes, I have one more thing. If someone meets the eligibility guidelines, which are 18 to 58, have SSI or SSDI, and have some sort of work history in the last 5 years, if they come to the orientation, the Work Vermont 2.0 orientation, they'll be eligible for a $25 gift card, just for learning more about the program. We recognize people have transportation costs, and that maybe there might be some hesitancy about kind of going back to work. We're just providing it in a safe environment for people to learn more and decide if it makes sense for them.
Yeah. And I just definitely want to highlight, and I think you brought it up too, that really in essence what we're talking about is somebody, you know, taking a look at a new career in employment. So yeah, we are talking about employment, but there's other things along the way. If the job isn't right here, right now, there's opportunity for training. There's opportunity for certifications to increase your skill sets to meet that job that you might be targeting. And there's opportunity through WIN and the network to connect with employers. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the employer that you work with. It just could be an employer that's in your field of interest. And we have those opportunities, and doors are open to everybody in this program. Walk through those doors, have conversations with some of our local employers. And I think I would also throw it out there too to our local employers that if you're really looking for really qualified, great employees, I definitely encourage you reaching out to any of us to have a further conversation about what are we really looking at. You know, it's a safe place to ask questions about, you know, you talk about disabilities and barriers, but what does that word really mean? And we get the opportunity to really highlight and show the work that we all do at VocRehab. You had brought up just general VocRehab services. You know, it's a great first stop for somebody looking for a job. But really, if you want to get into the system, we really want to have a further conversation about where would you like to be tomorrow, and how can we get you there? And it might be further training or certification or higher education. But those are all things that we're going to start having an engaging conversation with you on about really where do you want to be, and how can I get you set on that way. And by the way, we're all going to be here to support you. You know, if you stumble, we're going to be here to make sure you don't fall, and if you do fall, we'll pick you right back up. So, any closing thoughts, comments?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right, so once again, orientation for Work Vermont 2.0 can be either done virtually or in person at the Asa Bloomer Building, VocRehab office. You must call the office first to set up an appointment, right, for orientation. It isn't just walk-in, correct?
RSVP, yeah.
Correct. And definitely, if you are receiving a benefit and you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to reach out to Amanda, Kristen, or Lynn, or attend one of the orientation sessions and learn further about the program. And let's see what we can do to help kind of move you along your career path and let you realize your dreams.